Ever wonder how to invest like the legendary Warren Buffett? Well, today we're going to dive deep into that. Exactly. We're going beyond just the stock picks and into the whole mindset with Robert G. Hagstrom's book,
The Warren Buffett Way?
The Warren Buffett Way, to see how these principles have made Buffett a legend and, how they apply to, well, anyone really, not just seasoned investors.
Right.
And luckily, we've got an expert here with us who can connect Buffett's approach to broader concepts like behavioral finance,
Rational decision.
rational decision making. Exactly.
All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. So this book goes deep into Buffett's life, but what's really interesting is how his journey started. Did you know that he bought his first stock at just 11 years old?
Yeah, it's a pretty well-known story. He purchased shares of City Service Preferred at age 11.
Wow.
And ended up selling those for a small profit.
Okay.
But the thing is, the stock later skyrocketed, teaching young Warren two crucial lessons that he carried with him. One, don't fixate on that initial price.
Yeah.
It's about the long game, right?
Yeah.
And two, only sell for a substantial profit. Don't settle for peanuts.
Don't leave money on the table.
Exactly. And these lessons learned so early really highlight Buffett's innate inclination towards long-term thinking.
It's like he was already playing chess when everyone else was playing checkers.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
But, it wasn't just intuition. I mean, some pretty key figures shaped his philosophy. So tell me a little bit about Benjamin Graham's influence on Buffett.
Oh, absolutely. Benjamin Graham, often called the father of value investing, was hugely influential on Buffett. He believed in avoiding losses by investing in undervalued companies.
Makes sense.
Finding those hidden gems that the market was overlooking.
Right.
He co-authored the book Security Analysis, and he practiced this with Jerome Newman in their firm, the Graham-Newman Corporation. And guess who landed a job there after graduating?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, exactly.
Talk about an apprenticeship.
That's right.
But it wasn't just Graham's value approach, right? There was another investor, Philip Fisher,
Yes.
who played a role.
Absolutely. Philip Fisher had a kind of contrasting philosophy in a way.
Okay.
He believed in investing in high-quality companies, even if their price wasn't a bargain.
Okay, interesting.
He stressed thorough research, talking to industry insiders, really understanding the company's management and its potential. He called this scuttlebutt, which I love, gathering information beyond just the numbers.
I love that,
Yeah.
scuttlebutt. I bet that really resonated with Buffett's analytical mind.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
But how did these, seemingly different philosophies combine in Buffett's approach?
Well, that's where the story gets even more interesting. Entered Charlie Munger, Buffett's longtime partner.
Okay.
He was a big advocate of scuttlebutt, and he convinced Buffett to invest in See's Candies.
See's Candy.
See's Candies, yeah. Now, this wasn't a classic value play, This was a well-run business with a strong brand and loyal customers.
Okay, so not like a diamond in the rough or anything.
Right, exactly.
So how did that investment turn out?
Massive success.
Wow.
And it demonstrated to Buffett the power of blending value investing with that focus on quality.
Okay.
So that See's Candies acquisition was a real turning point, showcasing Buffett's, flexibility and openness to evolving his investment approach.
So it's not just about finding the cheap stocks or, whatever it might be. It's about really understanding the business inside and out, looking at both value and quality.
Absolutely.
Now, the book outlines Buffett's 12 tenets for evaluating investments, and I'm really curious to understand what makes these so insightful.
Yeah, the 12 tenets, they offer a real glimpse into Buffett's decision-making process. Let's start with business characteristics.
Okay.
Buffett looks for companies he understands, favoring simplicity over complexity. He also sees a consistent operating history and a favorable long-term outlook.
So he's not interested in those flash-in-the-pan companies that are here today, gone tomorrow.
Exactly.
Makes sense, given his long-term focus.
Yeah.
But what about the people running these businesses? I imagine management qualities are just as crucial.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Buffett assesses management by looking for rational financial behavior, candor with shareholders, and the ability to resist following the crowd.
So he's looking for those rare CEOs who aren't afraid to go against the grain, right? If it's in the best interest of the company.
Yeah, exactly.
How does he really get a feel for their character and decision-making style?
Remember Scuttlebutt?
Oh, right.
That's a key part of it. Buffett and Munger gather information from various sources to evaluate the management team, going beyond, just their resumes and public statements.
It's like they're putting together a puzzle, looking at all the pieces to form a complete picture of the leadership.
That's a great analogy.
All right, on to the numbers. What about financial decisions?
Yes, Buffett's really in his element here.
Ha!
He's famous for focusing on 5-year averages rather than yearly results, demonstrating that long-term perspective.
Oh, wow.
Right. And he also emphasizes specific metrics like return on equity, profit margins, and increasing market value.
Okay, now I'm starting to see how those Ivy League students might have gotten tricked. Focusing on those long-term trends, ignoring the day-to-day noise, that takes real discipline. It's almost like a Zen approach to investing.
I love that. It's a great analogy. And it leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive, the fascinating world of behavioral finance.
Okay.
And how understanding our own psychology is crucial for making sound investment decisions.
Now things are getting really interesting. Give me an example of how our psychology can get in the way of making smart investments.
Well, let's look at loss aversion.
Okay.
This bias makes us feel the pain of a loss much more intensely than the pleasure of an equivalent gain.
Interesting.
It can lead us to sell investments too early out of fear, missing out on potential future growth.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well. I once sold a stock after a small dip, only to watch it double in value a few months later. Talk about kicking myself.
Yeah, I think we've all been there, right? Loss aversion is a powerful emotion. It can really hijack our rational thinking. Another trap is the, bandwagon effect,
The bandwagon effect.
also known as herd mentality. We see others buying or selling a particular stock, and we feel compelled to follow suit, even without doing our own research.
It's like that fear of missing out, right? Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon and we don't want to be left behind.
Exactly. And, social media can really amplify this effect.
Right.
Creates a sense of urgency and hype that can cloud our judgment. But Buffett doesn't play that game. He sticks to his principles, his analysis, his long-term vision.
He's like the captain of his own ship, navigating through the stormy seas of the market with a steady hand. But how does he stay so grounded amidst all the noise and chaos?
Well, remember Benjamin Graham's analogy of Mr. Market that we touched upon earlier? Let's dive deeper into that. Imagine Mr. Market as a business partner who's incredibly emotional and unpredictable.
Okay, I'm picturing a character straight out of a Wall Street drama, manic and full of wild mood swings.
Exactly. Mr. Market is constantly offering to buy or sell your shares at prices that reflect his current mood, not the true value of the business. Some days he's euphoric, offers a ridiculously high price. Other days he's panicked and offers a price that's far too low.
So it's like he's letting his emotions dictate the price, rather than looking at the fundamentals of the company.
Precisely. And here's the key.
Hmm.
You, the rational investor, have the power to choose whether to engage with Mr. Market or not. You can ignore his emotional roller coaster and focus on the long-term value of your investments.
It's about recognizing that Mr. Market's mood is temporary, while the value of a good business is built over time. Honestly, that sounds incredibly difficult to do in practice. How do you actually tune out all that noise and stay focused on the long game?
That's where Buffett's mastery of System 2 thinking comes in. Remember, System 1 is our impulsive emotional side,
Right.
while System 2 is our more deliberate, rational side.
Right, like when those Ivy League students jumped to the wrong answer because they relied on their gut instinct instead of thinking things through.
Exactly. Buffett has trained himself to engage System 2, to slow down, gather information, and make decisions based on logic and analysis, not fear or greed. He famously said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient."
Wow, that's a powerful quote. It really highlights the importance of patience in investing. But let's be honest, patience is a virtue that many of us struggle with, especially in today's fast-paced world, right?
Absolutely. We're constantly bombarded with information, notifications, and instant gratification. It's no wonder our brains are wired for, quick reactions and short-term thinking.
So how do we cultivate that Buffett-like patience? How do we shift from System 1 to System 2 thinking, especially when it comes to investing?
One key is recognizing that patience isn't just about waiting passively. It's about actively gathering information, researching, and understanding the businesses you're investing in. Remember Buffett's emphasis on scuttlebutt.
Right.
That's a perfect example of patience in action.
It's about doing your homework, right? Not just blindly following the crowd or reacting to headlines. But I imagine it also takes a certain level of confidence to stick to your convictions, especially when the market seems to be going against you.
You're absolutely right. Confidence comes from knowledge and understanding. The more you know about a business, its industry, and its long-term prospects, the more confident you'll feel holding on to your investment, even during turbulent times.
It's like the difference between gambling and investing, right?
Mhm.
Gamblers rely on luck and short-term swings, while investors focus on building long-term value.
Precisely. And Buffett is a master of building value over time. He's not looking for quick flips or overnight riches. He's playing a long game, patiently compounding his returns year after year.
It's amazing to think that this approach, rooted in patience and rationality, has made him one of the most successful investors of all time. We've uncovered some pretty powerful investment principles, but what's really striking is how these resonate beyond Wall Street.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, right? These aren't just financial tactics, they're really life strategies.
Yeah.
Buffett's approach can illuminate how we think about, well, all sorts of things, our careers,
Yeah.
our relationships, even personal growth.
Okay, I'm all ears. How would you apply, let's say, his focus on business characteristics to a career?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say instead of chasing, the hottest job title
Right.
or salary, think long term. What truly interests you? Where can you develop valuable skills and really contribute meaningfully?
Yeah.
You know?
So ditch the trendy career
Right.
and find something with some staying power. Something you can really dig into. Makes sense. What about his emphasis on management qualities? Does that translate to, let's say, personal development?
Absolutely. Remember, Buffett looks for leaders who are rational, candid, and resist following the crowd blindly. These are traits we can all cultivate in ourselves.
So it's about developing our own inner CEO,
Right.
honing our decision-making, being honest with ourselves, and not just following the herd.
Yeah,
It's a higher standard, but a powerful one.
it is.
And think about scuttlebutt, that idea of gathering diverse information before making a decision. This applies to major life choices, too.
Not just stocks.
Seek mentors, learn from others' experiences. Don't jump into things blindly.
Right, exactly. Do your due diligence.
It's like doing due diligence on your own life choices.
I love that.
Now we can't forget the financial wisdom. That long-term focus seems particularly relevant in our world of instant gratification.
Oh, for sure. Buffett's approach is the antidote to those get-rich-quick schemes and impulsive spending.
Right.
It encourages us to save for the future, invest wisely, and build a solid foundation, rather than chasing, those instant rewards.
And just like he tunes out Mr. Market's mood swings, we can learn to manage our own emotional reactions to those financial ups and downs.
Right.
Easier said than done, though, right?
Oh, definitely.
It's hard.
But remember, it's about focusing on what you can control,
Right.
your own behavior and choices. Don't let external forces dictate your financial well-being.
This has been a really eye-opening deep dive. We've gained, insights into Buffett's genius, but also into how these principles can apply to, well, really anyone seeking a more thoughtful, long-term approach to life.
Couldn't agree more. And I think there's a quote from the book that sums it up perfectly. It's not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. Consistency and discipline over time can lead to remarkable outcomes.
So no need for those grand gestures, just steady, thoughtful action.
That's it.
That's a great takeaway for our listeners. Thanks for guiding us through this fascinating exploration of the Warren Buffett way.
My pleasure. Hopefully this deep dive has inspired everyone to think a little more like Warren Buffett, both in their investments and in life.
And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Deep Dive.